Hey guys, Nut Dealer here, and if you don't know, I'm the guy who exposed SFD for his deplorable actions. I personally wanted to thank you all for actually listening to what I had to say, and also spreading the word. However, not even a week after I released my video, I realized that a lot of the stuff I put in my video was extremely inappropriate for the situation, as many people have pointed out in the comment section of Mr. Rovio's video. All of the jokes I made in that video were completely unnecessary, and I just wanted to apologize for not taking the situation seriously enough. That's why I've decided to make this video, as a sort of apology letter. This is basically going to be my first video, but without jokes. I'm also going to correct some information I got wrong in my first video, as well as talk about things that have happened since my first video. With all of that being said, let's begin. Luigi Girl 12 is a prominent voice actor in most of SFD's videos, and a good part of my original video was dedicated to her. To make a long story short, back in 2024, Luigi Girl admitted to accidentally grooming some 15-year-old kid named Logan. What happened was that she kept e-kissing him and calling him cute names. And while I don't have a screenshot for this, Chase the Stick Boy fan has said that Luigi Girl and Jawbone consider Logan their son?
And information I did get that he was supposed to be Luigi Girl 12 and Mr. Jawbone's son. I don't know if that's just me, but when the moment I heard that just seemed very weird to me. And why are you texting a minor anyway? That just is weird as hell.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but she also went on to say that she was a huge jerk to Logan and that she made him go through stuff mentally.
The only bad thing I ever did was just treat him horribly and was just being a big jerk, which I deeply regret doing to him, and I made him go through stuff mentally.
So yeah, it was anything but a healthy relationship, and the Logan incident should have been the death of her career. However, instead of taking accountability like she should have, she instead started demanding for forgiveness and was complaining that people weren't forgiving her enough.
People are just milking my drama that happened 2 months ago.
Yeah, 2 months ago, people. Think about it.
Like, let it go. Logan is my best friend. It's just best to move on and let it go. The past is the past.
And to make it worse, Luigi, Jawbone, and their friends all started victim blaming Logan.
Specifically, like, I actually read into the drama, and I'm realizing that, like, Logan is not a victim either.
It was his joke to begin with.
No, it wasn't it was like, he practically, like, forced you, though. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't have done it. That's completely on you, and you need to take responsibility for that. But Logan, you know, he's not a victim. And the fact that he started, like, playing victim like he was traumatized is really funny to me, because we know damn well he was not traumatized and he was just simp baiting.
Yeah, like, basically, he was, like, claiming, oh, I did some very inappropriate stuff to him. Like, nuh-uh, I did not.
Many ended up cutting ties with Luigi, but many also ended up forgiving her for some reason. One of those people were Super Feather Dude, who kept giving her work despite everything that happened, and basically platforming a groomer in the process. This was an awful decision, because later down the line, when Luigi and Logan were playing Gartic Phone, she drew feet fetish art of herself with Logan present. Yeah, that's one of the things I got wrong in my original video. It wasn't a pic of her naked, it was a pic of her with her feet out. Sorry about that. But that really doesn't change my point. She still continued to act weird around him, sending him feet fetish art of herself, and in her own words, making him go through stuff mentally.
I didn't do anything inappropriate at all.
The worst part is that Logan is still hanging out with Luigi Girl despite everything that happened, meaning that he either fell for the victim blaming or is too afraid to speak out. Luigi has 5.6k subscribers. She could easily lie about him and have him falsely cancelled if she wanted to. Anyways, a couple days after I released my video, Luigi made a community post where she tries to sell the idea that the whole grooming thing was just a misunderstanding and that she didn't know what the word grooming meant. Yeah, I don't think you need me to tell you that a 20-something-year-old Gen Z woman who has been on the internet for a very long time now, which means that she's in an environment where predator exposed videos have been a regular type of content for years now, yet somehow didn't know what the word grooming meant, is absolute bullshit. The fact that she was even forgiven by anyone is crazy to me. Like, what a bunch of idiots. But anyways, pretty much everyone from the situation is now moving on, so I might as well too. Trying to further expose Luigi Girl is basically just going to be talking to a brick wall. She won't listen, her fans won't listen, and she'll never truly take accountability. Outside of making the most stereotypical YouTube apology that she could have. Like seriously, the visuals are just a black screen throughout the entire thing, and she even sighs at the beginning.
Hey everybody.
Chase the Stick Boy was very instrumental in doing research for this subject. He's also made an entire playlist of his and other people's videos about the Luigi Girl situation. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to look into this yourself. Jawbone isn't any more innocent than his girlfriend, and he's done a lot of terrible shit too. Not only was he defending his pedo girlfriend the whole time, but he's also said many racial slurs that he cannot claim in the past, such as the F slur.
Actual faggot.
When he got called out for this, he didn't even bother apologizing. Instead, he sympathy baited with his hospitalized mother.
Yes, this is the actual machine my mom uses to help clean her blood out, and the fact that she's nearly on her deathbed and can die any day, you guys just laugh your asses off just to get a fucking reaction out of me. You didn't even care that my mom has to go on this machine just to get her blood cleaned out. Quit using that as an excuse! It's not an excuse, you fucker!
There was also the time he said the N-word.
That's a very racist stereotype, nigger.
He made up an excuse that his brother is African American, but I've already disproved that. Essentially, in my previous video, I explained that there's no evidence to prove the brother's existence. And if he did exist, Jawbone would be mixed race, which he isn't, by the way. And if the brother was adopted, then that would further prove that Jawbone can't say the N-word, since they wouldn't even be blood related. Also, sometime after my original video released, I found out that Jawbone has said some other slurs besides the N-word and F slur.
Yeah, right, guys. Because I'm Chase and I love to make stupid videos.
Jawbone, your face is so ugly.
Jawbone, your face is
Fuck
so...
off, you fucking cunt!
Rush out
Shut up, you fucking dyke.
Also, you remember that one clip I showed in my last video? You know, the one where Jawbone tells someone to KYS?
What did you just fucking tell me?
I said, go kill yourself, man.
Well, according to its Scavjits video, this is a very common thing he does. And I know I explained that, but you want to know who he specifically said it to in that clip? Well, according to Chase, that specific person was Logan himself. Yeah, you know, the kid that Luigi groomed? Not only was this kid groomed and gaslit, but he got told to KYS by his groomer's boyfriend. Logan cannot catch a break. There have also been some other allegations against Jawbone, such as how he apparently hurt his sister while doing the Pennywise dance. And the most damning one of all, teaching kids how to masturbate during a live stream.
A lot of you are noticing that I'm also calling Jawbone a pedophile and also a danger to children. And the reason for that is because I have heard from time and time again that he actually told some minors on one of his live streams how to, let's just say, do some really dirty things with their areas. Yep, that is why Jawbone is now a confirmed pedophile as well, because of him saying stuff to children that they shouldn't be doing at such a young age.
I didn't include any of these in the last video because there was barely any evidence to even support these claims. But if any of this is true, then, oh god, that just proves that Jawbone is unforgivable. But for now, that's pretty much all I have on Jawbone. He's just a huge asshole and an alleged pedophile. Him and Luigi were definitely made for each other. I'm sure all of you already know this, so I'm just going to make it brief. SFD had a DeviantArt account at one point, and in his favorites, there were multiple pieces of fetish art depicting underage characters. He was also following multiple fetish artists who draw very young children. He was also following an AI fetish account, despite the fact that he said publicly that he hates AI art. One specifically that makes fetish art of, well, children. And yeah, SFD likes kids a bit too much, if you catch my drift. Sometime in January, SFD decided to delete his account in order to make sure that no one would find out. Little did he know that I already had screenshots of everything. So when my first video on him released, he decided to delete his entire account and run away like a little coward. He eventually released both an apology letter and an apology video. However, he couldn't even be bothered to release the video himself, instead having his friend Anim SFM do it for him. His main argument was that he didn't know that any of that was fetish art, which, yeah, okay, sure buddy. You totally didn't know that buff 8-year-old Tails the Fox in a thong was supposed to be fetish art.
Me and my messed up brain wasn't even thinking straight. I never knew those images were fetishes. I wish someone could have told me first before doing what I did.
I also want to bring up how people have been spreading misinformation about SFD, stating that he's been using AI to make fetish art of minors, which is just not true. And I've also been seeing a lot of people spread around the false narrative that he also groomed minors, which is not true. He just gooned 2 fictional ones. People have also been wondering if I have any more dirt on SFD, which I really don't, besides a few things. Such as how SFD said something racist to one of Luigi Girl's trolls back in 2021. And in the SFD movie, he plagiarized an entire scene from another YouTuber named SchneiderTunes.
Oh god, it's a pig!
Red, wait! He is not the enemy!
What?
Look into his face and see if you recognize him.
Wait, Penley?
Hey, excuse me, I'm...
Oh god, it's a pig!
No! Take this! What do you think you're doing? Wait! I am not your enemy! What? Look at my face and tell me you recognize me. What? Bearded pig? It's Leonard, you dumbass!
SFD also plagiarized an entire episode of SML, especially the ending.
Alright, sir, we've been looking everywhere in this house all morning, and we didn't find the golden egg, so what's going on? You must find it, because if you don't find it, then your wish will not be granted, and it will never come true. Well, can you give us a hint? Yeah, can you give us a hint? We've been looking everywhere in this house all morning, and we never find a golden egg. Yeah, and I just got here. Yeah, and you just got here, so where's the golden egg? Yo, Mr. Easter Bunny Bird, we've been looking in this house all morning, but all I found was this. Man, I wish I have a golden egg.
Alright, Easter Bunny Genie, we've been looking everywhere for that golden egg, we haven't found it, so what's going on?
You must find it, because if you don't find the egg and make a wish, I will be trapped as a genie forever.
Well, can you give us a hint? Yeah, can you give us a hint? We've been looking all day for it, we can't find it.
Again, I just got here.
Yeah, he just got here.
Yeah, Mr. Bunny Rabbit, can you please give us a hint? I've been looking for the golden egg all day, and all I found was this. Man, I sure wish I found the golden egg.
And regarding his rant on Trolls Band Together fan, it was a mostly word-to-word copy of Cupplane's rant on Evan Channel 2000.
I used to think, well, I wouldn't say his content was good back in the day. I'm just gonna say... it was something.
I used to think, well, I wouldn't say his content was good back in the day. I'm just gonna say, it was something.
Oh, and don't get me started on his behavior. For a 21-year-old, he sure is acting like a 5-year-old. Literally.
Also, don't get me started on his behavior. For a 22-year-old, he sure acts like a 5-year-old. Literally.
He even praised his Trolls World Tour and Ralph Breaks the Internet better than God. So yeah, he's basically an immature Trolls fanboy.
He even got a request one time. He raised his voice at whoever requested him, and even called him an a-hole. So yeah, he's basically an immature Cartoon Network fanboy.
Don't believe me? Let me show you. But I'm warning you, this may contain cringe.
Don't believe me? Here, I'll show you. But I'm warning you, this may contain some cringe.
What really got worse is that when he reacts to Mayday, Peter B. Parker's daughter, that he pretty much wants to throw her off a cliff. Even though she's a fictional character, you do realize that child abuse is illegal. You could get arrested for that.
What really got worse is that when he reacts to Blossom from the Powerpuff Girls, he literally fell in love with her. Even though she's a fictional character, you do realize that
Child grooming is illegal. You could get arrested for that.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Lexi J has come out to explain that SFD has always been quite problematic, especially with how he treats his friends. In May of last year, SFD was having another temper tantrum, and when Enrique tried calming him down, SFD told him to fuck off and called him a fake friend. Yeah, LOL toxic man-child indeed. So yeah, TLDR, SFD is a freak. But do you want to know the most infuriating part about all of this? He said he wants to come back one day.
I don't know when I'll return, but when the time is right, I'll see you there.
SFD, if you're watching this by any chance, the time will never be right. Nobody wants you back. Not Tiffany, not Baldwin, not Sherry, nobody. Nobody wants you back. And if you were really sorry, you'd leave the internet for good. I have been dying to talk about Brown because I have a personal vendetta against him. This is Brown Robinbird, a prominent voice actor in SFD's videos and also a very close friend of his. Outside of SFD, he's most well known for his Angry Birds Crack Nest videos and his wannabe Siva Gunner rips. Before the end of January, I genuinely thought that he was an innocent bystander in all of this. However, this belief was crushed the moment he took to his Discord server and linked to a post he made on YouTube where he tries to debunk the Luigi Girl and Jawbone allegations. And, well, of course, fail at it miserably. He only made it because Chase called both him and SFD out for still supporting Luigi Girl and Jawbone. Chase actually made a response to the post, so if you want the full picture of the situation, the link will be in the description. The main gist of Brown's argument is that Luigi and her boyfriend are not pedophiles, that he and SFD are not pedophiles, and that everyone being talked about by Chase is innocent. Ooh, man, that did not age well. But anyways, he deleted the post out of embarrassment. But let me tell you how I fit into all of this. You see, I was in Brown's Discord server at the time, making sure that him and SFD weren't doing anything suspicious on there. And to be fair, they weren't. But when Brown started lying about Luigi Girl, I just needed to debunk what he was saying. So I explained to the server what was actually happening, and surprisingly, they all started believing me over him, which Brown did not at all take very kindly to, because hours later, he decided to ban me from his server. Instead of actually trying to debate me, he decided to silence me altogether. What a coward. As you can tell, Brown is someone who cares deeply about his public image. So when someone in the comment section of my video explains that Brown had a shit ton of Powerpuff Girls fetish art in his favorites, of course he wasn't going to take that sitting down. He needed to respond to that. Especially since he deactivated his DA account a day after my video came out. He also decided to go on break a day after my video released. According to Brown himself, he couldn't handle everyone criticizing him for being friends with Luigi Girl anymore, so he decided to go on break. Which is strange because when he made his post about Chase, it got nothing but positive attention from his audience. So something definitely happened on his server after I was kicked. At first, I thought he went on break because of my video on SFD, but according to this exchange he had with Piggy Plush Productions, he only learned about it later that day. However, there's still the possibility that he deactivated his DA account after seeing my video. I'm saying it's only a possibility because I don't know specifically when he deactivated that day. But enough speculation, let's just look at his response already. So 3 days after the infamous comment, Brown released a video called Slight Update and Back to Break. And I kid you not, the first thing he does is try to pass off the idea that Luigi and Jawbone didn't know what the word grooming meant. As if anyone would believe that bullshit.
Apparently, neither of the two knew what grooming meant. Either they did or they forgot.
The rest of the video is just him denying the allegation of him ever having Powerpuff Girl fetish art on his DA account.
And literally, nothing sexual was going on. I never favored nothing sexual about the Powerpuff Girls whatsoever. Y'all know dang well I don't condone that crap. I don't want any part of no how do I say this without getting in trouble? PDF stuff. Y'all know where I'm getting at, right? I can't say that. I'm trying so hard not to say the actual word.
But how exactly is anyone supposed to believe any of this when he doesn't even provide screenshots or evidence?
Unfortunately, I don't have any evidence. I forgot to take screenshots of evidence before I deleted my thing. I'm kind of an idiot.
That thing that he just said, it only makes him look even more suspicious. And if you were still questioning my involvement in the Brown part of this situation, then allow me to point you to the part of this video where he starts talking about me and what I did in his Discord server. Except, he couldn't even get my name right. So in this video, he refers to me as Nutmaster.
Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I almost believed it because someone sent me this dude named Nutmaster. Oh god. Why is he called that? Nutmaster sent me a DeviantArt sent me something on, not Deviant, why do I keep saying DeviantArt? Discord, about a community post Luigi Girl made, about saying, I'm sorry about the grooming thing or whatever. I think that's deleted now, because I can't find it. Actually, you know what? Hey, Nutmaster, if you're watching this, I kinda owe you an apology for blocking you. Yeah, I'm gonna go my bet on that one, because I actually believed you for a second.
Yeah, because I was right. Anyways, a day after his video released, he got into contact with Mr. Rovio and they would start talking about the allegation. Mr. Rovio would successfully convince Brown to reactivate his DA account so that he can prove he's actually innocent. This was it. This was Brown's opportunity to prove that commenter wrong. This was his opportunity to show that he doesn't have fetish art of... That commenter wasn't lying. Brown is as much of a freak as SFD is. An obese Swiper the 10-year-old fox butt-crushing Boots the 5-year-old monkey? The Powerpuff Girls holding a goddamn vibrator? And a bunch of other disgusting shit that Mr. Rovio couldn't even show due to time constraints. When Mr. Rovio brought this up to him, he tried using the I was young excuse and then proceeded to say that he needed to go check if he missed anything, obviously implying that he was going to try and get rid of evidence. Because that's all these fuck-ass freaks know how to do. Delete evidence and silence those who dare criticize them. It's honestly just pathetic. Anyways, near the end of February, Brown would release another video, this time apologizing for what he had on his favorites. He throws around a lot of excuses, such as being blinded by how accurate the art was to the original show art styles, not knowing what a fetish was until 2023 to 2024, but if that were the case, then wouldn't he try to at least get rid of the fetish art in his favorites before someone found out he had fetish art of children in his favorites? And he's just constantly making excuses for himself in this video, and his audience is just eating it all up. And that's probably because he also lies to them about what's in his favorites. He never brings up the bluey feet fetish art. He never brings up the PBG vibrator art. He only ever says that he had butt stuff in his favorites, and that's it.
There were some other photos with, specifically, oh god, I hate to say it, butts. Like, booty cheeks. And I was like, blind. I guess I was like so blinded by how good of the art. It was like something from an actual video game or show that I wasn't aware that this was fetish art. Some of these, well, the butt stuff did not include minors, thank God.
It literally did, by the way. The fact that he even lied about that goes to show that he's guilty.
I think someone said about favoriting Powerpuff Girls stuff. Yeah, that's what I mentioned in the last video. Again, nothing on there was fetishy about the girls. Of course, I'm aware they're like 5-year-olds. We have no sexual attraction to minors at all.
Well, judging by your DA favorites, you obviously do, Brown. But anyways, he's also accompanied by Luigi Girl and Anim. But guess who else shows up? None other than Super Feather Dude.
What I want to say is I apologize that I affected anyone. When it comes to lash outs, or even the incident, or even the things I don't mean to say, yeah, I do have some issues, and I do have the consequences I have to take actions for. However, hopefully we can start over. We can start fresh and start new, and we're going to prove that will change for the better.
Yeah, some of you guys might not believe us, but again, actions speak louder than words. So don't expect me or Feather Dude in anything for a couple of months or two until we're actually ready.
Alright, sorry if I'm not commenting a lot on this, but it just speaks for itself. SFD and his friends really think that they can just be forgiven after going on break for a couple of months, when that couldn't be further from the truth. SFD literally got caught gooning to fictional children, and so did Brown. And since I also exposed Luigi Girl and Jawbone in my original video, they sure as hell aren't welcome here either. Pack your bags, Brown, because no matter how hard you try to improve, you will always be seen as the AB community's equivalent to R fucking Kelly.
This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this.
Also, I wasn't sure where else to put this in the video, but a couple of days after he got exposed, Brown renamed himself to Brown Robin Bird Redeemed on Discord. Yeah, no, you will never be redeemed, Brown. Fuck you. It wasn't until the beginning of April where he renamed himself again to Barely Active. And if you ask me, he shouldn't be active at all. So in conclusion, never trust a grown-ass man who watches Bluey. So when my first video came out, a good chunk of people thought it was fake. And some people didn't even bother watching the video or any other related videos, so they don't even know what's happening right now.
No! Why? Oh, why?
One of those who were uneducated were AndrewGoodguy, who was originally defending SFD, but after realizing the true severity of what he did, Andrew rightfully cut ties with him. His friend Chris also tried defending SFD for a little bit. This, of course, did not work out for him in the slightest. However, according to Andrew, Chris is extremely gullible, and easily fell for SFD's fake-ass apology. However, he only had the best of intentions, and considering that he's still a part of Tiffany's voice cast, it's safe to say that he was also forgiven. However, there is one person who has no excuse at all to be defending SFD. This being Pixel Gun 3D Ivruj Grual, formerly known as Luca Coolbird. He has made multiple videos where he just straight up lies about the SFD situation, with each of these videos being just as bad as the last. In his first video, he just defends only SFD and Brown.
I just wanted to make this video because like I seen those videos online about Super Fighter Dude and Brown Robin Bird. Let me make something clear. Those guys didn't do anything wrong, okay? They simply made a mistake and then people jumped into conclusions.
It wasn't just a mistake. It was multiple mistakes made over the span of years. Not to mention all of those other people he was following that make disgusting ass fetish art of minors, including that one guy who admitted to fetishizing muscle women while drawing actual 3-year-olds. And need I even mention the AI fetish account he was following? And as for Brown, he lied about having fetish art in his favorites, and when he got exposed, he suicide baited and begged his audience for forgiveness while lying to them about what happened. Does any of that sound like a mistake to you? No? Well, that's because none of it is. SFD and Brown knew what they were doing the entire time.
Listen, personally, I'm not asking you guys to harass them. Don't harass them. They're adults. They know what they did. It was their mistake, but you guys can forgive them, okay? Because like, it was not their fault. Because they didn't know what the art was. They actually did not know.
And then he made a shitty video defending Luigi Girl and Jawbone. And of course those two were in the comment section agreeing with him.
Hey guys, so I want to clear up 2 other names. Luigi Girl 12 and Mr. Jawbone. So from what I heard, they were like talking to a minor, but the minor is okay. Like, don't even talk about it anymore. The minor is okay. So basically, Luigi Girl 12 and Mr. Jawbone thought that they were talking to someone older, but it was a minor. So they messed up, they made a mistake.
Absolutely none of that is true, by the way. She wasn't just talking to Logan, she was e-kissing him and calling him cute names. And Luigi and Jawbone did know Logan's age at the time. Luigi always knew Logan's age, and yet still chose to get freaky with him. As you can see, Raj can't get a single thing about either situation right. And that's because he refuses to do research and accept the facts. So of course his next plan of action was to go after someone who did.
I just want to talk about this one guy named Mr. Rovio. Okay. This guy made like 2 videos about Brown and Super Feather Dude. Listen, he is like, he doesn't know the full context about what happened. He jumped to conclusions and made 2 videos about it. Yeah, he jumped to conclusions and people started believing him, but he doesn't know what actually happened. Like, he didn't put any context or anything.
SFD had fetish art of minors in his favorites. He was following multiple fetish artists who drew specifically children, and was even following an AI fetish account. Brown also had an ungodly amount of fetish art in his favorites, and when he got called out, he tried getting rid of evidence. What further context would we possibly need?
So basically what happened was, Super Feather Dude and Brown accidentally liked a DeviantArt post that was like, you know, bad.
It wasn't just a DeviantArt post, it was multiple. And then for some reason, Raj starts complaining about Mr. Rovio's username?
Buddy, listen. You are not Mr. Rovio, you are not the CEO. You just found a picture on Google and placed it with Mr. Rovio on it. You are not him, alright?
And then he starts defending these disgusting pedophiles even more, and also tries to pass off the idea that Mr. Rovio only did this for attention.
They were not associated with any sexual activities. They were not with minors, they didn't do anything sexual. This goes out to Luigi Girl and Mr. Jawbone too. They're also innocent. It was just a misunderstanding that happened, and Mr. Rovio thought it would be a good idea to get a lot of views out of this, like to milk the whole situation. Mr. Rovio, buddy, stop milking it, all right? Stop milking it, bro. You are not him, right? You are not him.
Raj, listen. Mr. Rovio warned you that if you kept this up, you'd be known as the guy who defended predators. And no matter how much you ghost people, play dumb, and beg me not to make an exposed video on you, people will criticize you for what you've done, especially now that I've exposed you. And the fact that the only evidence you have to prove their innocence is to tell people to hear them out and somehow call all of this a mistake pretty much tells me that you have no way of refuting me, Mr. Rovio, or anybody else who called them out. Just admit that you and everybody you defended are in the wrong already, you absolute clown. Alright, now that we're done with that, let's talk about some of Luigi Girl's defenders. Starting with good old Blamco. So basically, back in 2023, a bunch of people were cutting ties with this person named Jetta, who I'm not too familiar with, but according to multiple people, she's way worse than Luigi Girl, and is a pedophile with multiple grooming victims instead of one. And when Chase the Stick Boy told Blamco to stop supporting her, he at first did, but eventually went back to supporting her and even defending her.
I kept telling Blamco multiple times that he should not be friends with Jet because she's a fucking pedo, and he refused to fucking listen. He was like, oh, you're controlling me, I can be friends with her if I want to, you're not the boss of me and all that stuff.
He also decided to start defending Luigi Girl, and almost an entire year ago, he made this dumbass livestream where him, Luigi Girl, and Jawbone shit-talk Chase and tell him that he needs to go to jail for criticizing them, I guess?
I'm sorry for how he's been treating you, man.
It's fine. Yeah, I'm sorry about his ways treating you too. It's terrible. Like, you can go to jail for this stuff.
They also start bringing up a bunch of irrelevant stuff, like him bashing opinions and acting childish, which he hadn't done for a while at that point since he matured, by the way. But who cares? Unlike Chase, these idiots are a bunch of pedos and pedo defenders. These guys are genuinely brain dead if they think they're better than Chase. Anyways, here's another child in the vicinity of Luigi Girl, Sonic K. Sonic K is another little boy that Luigi Girl and Jawbone are friends with. And during a livestream where Chase was confronting Luigi Girl and Jawbone, only for them to keep interrupting him, Sonic K decided to start kicking him from the call and muting him.
Oh, your face is
Fuck off, you fucking cunt!
mad.
Shut up.
Keep being mad.
You
Keep
ain't
being
a
mad.
villain. You ain't a villain. You aren't not a hero. You're
Bro is
like,
No, I
crashing
am
out
a
earlier. I
hero.
don't know what bro is on. Bro's crashing out over nothing. Nah.
You keep
Chase,
removing
you
me,
can't be-
Sonic K. You keep
Chase,
removing
Chase,
me.
you can't be.
You
You would just
can't
crash
keep
out over
removing me,
Global.
my guy.
You would crash out over
shut up, you
Global,
fucking
bro.
dyke.
Built like Donald Duck, bro. Built like SpongeBob, bro.
He was basically on Luigi Girl and Jawbone's side throughout the entire drama. But can you blame him? The kid sounds like he's 9 years old.
He was being a total yakatron. That was the reason. Because he kept saying, yeah, whatever. So I had to mute this guy.
The kid is obviously too young to understand that Luigi Girl is lying to him and that he needs to get out of there. And I'm glad that about a month ago, he actually did cut ties with them. Good on you, Sonic K. I only have one more defender to talk about, and they get under my skin. This is Winter Zane, a close friend of Anim's and someone who vehemently defends Luigi Girl. When he commented on my video calling it fake and misinformation, he got completely ratioed. However, this isn't about my video. This is about his run-in with Chase. Chase tagged Zane in one of his videos, only for Zane to start accusing him of trying to start something. Some of the stuff that Zane says to Chase in their interaction is so unironically goofy, it screams wannabe alpha male cringe. Which you honestly can't take seriously because this is the same guy who in his community post on Chase used the same screenshot twice but showed only one additional comment in the second screenshot. Yeah, that's some real alpha male IQ you got there, Zane. Okay, so in this screenshot, Chase is just telling him to watch the video. But Zane is all like, nah bro, no thanks bruh, I know who my friends are. Yeah, I really don't think you do, Zane. Now knowing that Zane still thinks that Luigi and Jawbone are innocent, Chase tells him not to trust them, only for Zane to say, bruh, you know reigniting old drama is attention seeking, right? To which, no, Zane, that isn't attention seeking, that's educating the public. And it's not old drama either, it's fucking grooming allegations. Something that Zane doesn't seem to understand. And is made most obvious by his reply of, TS ended over 2 years ago, bro. He does realize he's talking about Luigi Girl admitting to grooming a minor, right? Then Zane tells him, brother, you're actively trying to start something. As if Chase started the drama himself, which he didn't, by the way. He was just spreading awareness. If anybody started anything, it was Luigi Girl saying that she accidentally groomed a fucking minor. But seriously though, what the fuck does she mean by accidentally? You can't accidentally groom a minor. And as a testament to his IQ, he also adds that it's not defending if I had nothing to do with it. Which, Zane, if you're watching, I'm not sure if you know this, but you can still defend someone without being involved in their drama. Like, you still made a video defending Luigi Girl, even if you said that you can't because you don't have anything to do with it. Like seriously, where is the logic, Zane? Anyways, Chase then tells him that if he doesn't watch the videos, then he'll be sorry. Obviously referring to how if people find out he's still friends with Luigi Girl, they're going to criticize him and call him out, just like how I'm doing right now. Zane, I wouldn't be exposing you right now if you had listened to Chase. You've already embarrassed yourself in my comments section, and now thousands of people are going to know that you're friends with a child groomer. I hope you're happy with your decisions, Zane. Zane clearly doesn't understand what Chase is trying to say, and asks him, is that threat, city boy? I'm sorry, city boy? City boy? And I assume you live on a farm, Zane? Zane then tells him that he can't threaten people online, even though that's not what he was doing, and then he says, I got nothing to do with their drama. Well, now you do, Zane, because I'm talking about you in my video. Anyways, Chase has to spell it out for him and tell him that he's going to get criticized by Luigi Girl's critics and haters. But Zane still isn't listening, saying that it was 2 years ago that Chase is trying to reignite old drama even though it's not even drama, it's grooming allegations. And also calling Chase a Timmy Tough Knuckles? I have genuinely never heard the term Timmy Tough Knuckles before in my entire life. Just say he was trying to act tough, Zane. Stop using these weird-ass goofy terms. Zane then brings up a certain video that Chase uploaded when he was 14, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Zane also posted this meme he made in an attempt to make fun of and, knowing him, intimidate Chase. But it's honestly more confusing if anything. Is it implying that he got that stick of marijuana from that box of cigarettes? He does realize that the Marlboro company doesn't make weed products, right? And why is he holding a box of cigarettes if he's already smoking weed? Does Zane think they're the same thing? Also, why did he give Chase the red MLG eyes? What exactly about this image is supposed to make us think that Chase is a loser who's trying to act tough? I also want to point your attention to the sole comment on this community post. Don't forget he got enslaved by snakes who he freed from their prison. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it was probably something anti-Semitic. But anyways, Zane would eventually make a video on Chase called talking about the wannabe Timmy Tough Knuckles, which, dare I say, is the worst video on the Luigi Girl drama out there. Yeah, no, I'm not even exaggerating, it's that fucking stupid.
So we're back again. Yeah, and unfortunately we've been talking about this clown trying to be Timmy Tough Knuckles here.
Yeah, this Chase boy is such a clown, man. He's such a wannabe Timmy Tough Knuckles. Oh, what a fucking loser, man.
We're talking about Chase the Sick Boy. And boy, does this kid give me the ick. Here's some contents. Back in 2024, or 5, Chase exposed Luigi Girl 12 and Mr. Jawbone.
Chase did not start the drama, Luigi herself did, and then Moon Moo made a video on it. If you're going to talk about drama, then at least get the information right.
And I use that term very loosely because this kid is absolutely numb in the head.
And that's coming from the guy who built a Minecraft base without any walls?
In 2024, Luigi Girl made a post detailing that she was apologizing for accidentally grooming someone. But in reality, she was overthinking and had assumed she was grooming this person.
Didn't Luigi say she didn't know what the word grooming meant? Assuming Zane got that information from Luigi herself, then that just proves that she was lying just to save face. Thanks for inadvertently helping your friend look worse, Zane.
I have single-handedly talked to Luigi Girl about this situation. And she has done nothing but be honest about what happened.
We just proved that she wasn't.
Jawbone originally got exposed for saying the F-slur.
He also got accused of telling kids to KYS, but not once is that mentioned in Zane's video. It's as if Zane based all of his information on the drama after Chase's most recent video and Luigi telling him that none of it was true. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if that were the case.
But Chase added the fact that Jawbone is a pedophile. That is not true.
That's only not true if evidence isn't ever found, hence why I've dubbed it an allegation. However, according to Chase, he got that information from other people, and considering that other people have made such a claim, it's heavily irresponsible to just rule it out as misinformation.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. The word faggot has multiple meanings, depending on the contents in which you say it. The word faggot does mean gay men, but did you know it has a second meaning commonly used in the 12th to 15th century? Before faggot became a homophobic slur, it was used to describe a bundle of sticks or twigs bound together to be used as fuel.
Yeah, I'm just gonna replay the clip real quick.
You actual faggot.
Answer me this, viewers. Does Jawbone sound like he's talking about sticks, twigs, or even using them as fuel? No? He doesn't? Well, that's because he obviously isn't. Jawbone was obviously using that word in the context it has today. Even if he was using that word in its original context, how would that even work as an insult? And just to let you know, Zane, Jawbone has also called Chase a dyke.
Rush out
Shut up, you fucking dyke.
That word was always intended to be a homophobic slur. So how exactly are you going to defend that one, Zane? Especially with how you can tell Jawbone meant that as an insult.
The reason why I'm not censoring any of this is that I'm using the word in its original meaning, not the modern day meaning. I told Jawbone this fact, and he did not know that faggot was one of those words that had a double meaning.
So according to you, yes, you, Jawbone didn't know about the original meaning of that word. That only proves that he said the word with homophobic intent. Zane, you're not helping your friends at all. You're just making them look even worse.
And I was permitted to say this word by a friend of mine. who is transgender.
Trans people have a completely different slur. Zane's friend cannot give him permission to say the F slur. He's probably just saying it just to say it, and I have my reasons for believing that I'll get into later.
There were also rumors that Chase created a compromising pornographic video at the age of 14, which casts doubt on his credibility regarding these allegations.
Okay, so let me give you some context. You see, when Chase was 14, he uploaded a video of characters who are canonically minors having sex. But it's important to acknowledge that Chase was also a minor at the time, and is 20 years old now. He has apologized multiple times in the present day for what he had done 6 years ago, as he was just a teenager and didn't know any better. Unlike Luigi Girl, who was 21 at the time when she groomed Logan. Also, I find it kind of fucked up that Zane is even trying to cancel Chase over that. 14-year-olds should not be making those types of videos. People at the time when he uploaded the video should have been concerned for him, not treating him like he was some monstrous pedophile. And I can hear you saying, but nut dealer, what if the people in that video were way younger than 14-year-old Chase? Wouldn't that make him a pedophile then? And you know, I was wondering the exact same thing. That's why I decided to reach out to him to ask him about that. When I asked him about it, he told me that they were characters from Tomodachi named Mamechi and Memechi. He stated that the characters were around the same age as him when he made the video, so I decided to do some research to make sure that was true. And after doing said research, I'm pretty sure he was talking about their appearances in the anime. And while they don't have specific ages, their ages range around 11 to 15, so they're all somewhere between that age range. And considering that in the games themselves, Mamechi and Memechi are considered adult stage Tomadachis, it's safe to say that Chase isn't some sort of teenage pedophile. So no, Zane, this does not cast down on Chase's claims, it only makes you look like you have zero critical thinking skills. And one more thing, even if Chase was a pedophile, that wouldn't disprove that Luigi Girl is also one. Because either way, she still groomed a minor, and Chase has nothing to do with that.
Chase, your videos mean nothing when there's irrefutable evidence but that both Luigi Girl and Jawbone are innocent in the present day.
What does he mean by in the present day? Is he trying to say that they were guilty in the past but they're innocent now? Yeah man, R. Kelly may have groomed a minor in the past, but he's not grooming minors right now. That means he's innocent.
They have learned from their mistakes and have done their best to repent and move on.
The most repenting they've done is say sorry and continue posting like nothing happened.
At their last meeting, after I discovered the fact that you made a porn video when you were 14 years old.
I feel like both this video and his community post paint a pretty obvious picture about Zane. He's incompetent, he's petty, and he doesn't know when to quit, especially when he's in the wrong. And I think that last part comes into play when you consider that his video isn't even over yet. You see, the very first comment on my SFD video was Zane telling me to tell Chase to join a stream of some sort. The stream was titled Talking About the Wannabe Timmy Tough Knuckles Livestream Edition. The stream had been going for some time when I got there, and when I did, the only thing that Zane and his friends were doing was calling out Chase's name in hopes that he would hear them and join the stream like he was Bloody Mary or something. Like seriously though, at one point in the stream, Zane was questioning to himself why Chase wasn't joining the stream. Like he just couldn't comprehend why Chase wouldn't want to debate him. However, considering that when Chase confronted Luigi Girl and Jawbone during a stream, and got constantly interrupted and insulted by them, and especially considering who Zane is as a person, it's pretty obvious that Zane and his friends were going to do the exact same thing. I asked Chase if he actually joined the stream or not, but he refused to tell me since he was moving on from the drama. I actually left a comment telling them how useless their efforts were, and you'll never guess how Zane reacted to it. I can't remember what he said exactly, but what he said was something on the lines of, "Alright, listen up, nut dealer. Your little boyfriend Chase is wrong about Luigi Girl, so how about you stop being his gay little defender and join my stream and be a real man?" Yeah, that's right. For some reason, he started calling me gay as an insult. Of course, the guy who openly said the F slur while defending his friend for saying the F slur would call people gay as an insult. And I'm not sure if you know this, Zane, but a real man doesn't defend fucking child groomers. And I'm not sure why he thought I was gay with Chase. Like, the extent of our interactions was just me leaving a couple of comments on his videos. And at that point, I only knew that he and his channel existed for like half a month. And I tried to tell Zane and his friends that they were acting dumb, but one of his friends proceeded to say, "Says the guy who called an innocent man a pedophile." Which, all I have to say to that is... Anyways, one of them started calling me fat as an insult for no reason, and it's pretty damn obvious that they were just self-projecting.
Because you mentioned donuts, and I love donuts, so...
Anyways, I went to go take a shower, and when I came back, Zane had already deleted the entire stream. Probably because it made him and his friends look bad. That right there is the information that shocked me the most. Zane, if you were really the tough guy you pretend to be, you would have kept that stream up, insults and all. But you have proven to me and everybody else watching this video that you are nothing more than a shit-talking loser. I've already completely debunked your shitty-ass video, and you've made a complete fool of yourself in my comments section. So do you really think you can get away with any of the shit you're doing? You really think you're some sort of tough guy just because you want to enroll in the army? Fuck no! You're dead-ass friends with someone who admitted to grooming a minor! Zane, your efforts mean nothing when there's irrefutable evidence that both Luigi Girl and Jawbone were guilty back then, are guilty in the present day, and will continue to be guilty. They've learned barely anything from their mistakes, and the best repenting they've done is crying, lying, and continuing to upload their regular content as if nothing ever happened. And they have less meaning after I just dropped the fact that you not only got ratioed in my comments section, but you also started calling me gay as an insult. If you ask me, the only smooth-brained person here seems to be you, Zane. If you want to keep embarrassing yourself, especially with your tough guy act, then be our guest. But please, do leave this situation in the hands of people who know what they're doing. Because somehow, you've proven yourself to be far more incompetent than even me. Alright, so this is the part of the video where I talk about my involvement in all of this. I want to first talk about how I even found out about SFD in the first place. So back on New Year's Eve 2023, I found his YouTube channel and started watching some of his videos. I did not really like them very much. I thought they were very poorly made. So much so that I wanted to make a video criticizing him. I began work on the video back in August of 2025, and it was just going to be a simple, lighthearted video where I criticized his videos. From the writing, to the voice acting, to even the 2 movies he made. That was all it was going to be. That is until, if my memory serves me correctly, October 8th, where when I looked at his About page, he had a link to his DeviantArt account. At first, it wasn't anything too suspicious, just a place where he was posting his art. But then I looked at his DeviantArt favorites, and yeah, I don't think I need to repeat myself. After finding out what he was doing on DeviantArt, I knew for a fact that other people needed to know. However, I was afraid of how people would react. I was afraid that they would think I was lying and faking screenshots. There was also this nagging thought I had at the back of my head the whole time that SFD didn't realize this was fetish art and that he just thought they looked cool. And looking back, I'm really not sure why I thought that, considering the quality of some of the drawings. And then the Krima Draw situation happened. If you don't remember, back in October, a Twitter account called ABFacts tried to frame Krima Draws, the creator of Ruby, for having a karate fetish and have people unknowingly participate in their fetish. This was obviously not true and nobody in the Angry Birds community took it seriously, and ABFacts ended up getting harassed off the internet. I was afraid that people would think I was trying to do the exact same thing ABFacts tried to do to Krima Draws, but to SFD. So in fear of getting harassed like that, I decided to keep quiet about the situation, and kept working on my criticism video instead, adding in the allegations near the end of the video for the time being. Eventually, by the end of December, I had convinced myself that SFD didn't realize that he was favoriting fetish art, and because of that, I was planning not to say anything about it. However, that was until January 3rd, where I found out that SFD had deactivated his account. SFD was still moderately active on there, so it's not like he deleted it because he wasn't using it. The only conclusion I could come up with was that he did know it was fetish art, and he was now trying to hide stuff. However, I was still kind of hesitant to ruin his relationship with the entire community and his friends. And a week after finding out that SFD deactivated his account, I decided to look into Luigi Girl a bit more. When I looked her up on YouTube, one of the very first results was Chase's playlist, and when I looked into the playlist, my jaw dropped. Not only was Luigi Girl a self-admitted groomer, but SFD was still giving her work years after the fact. At that point, I knew that SFD was far from innocent, and that I needed to expose him. However, I was still kind of afraid. I was still afraid of the possibility that people weren't gonna believe me. So after finishing the part of my critique video about Luigi Girl being a groomer, I decided to try to talk to some members of the Angry Birds community privately about the situation. More specifically, the ones that I trusted would believe me. I tried talking to Tiffany first, and while it took me more than a week to build up the courage to actually tell her the full story, she did end up believing me. After I broke the news to Tiffany, I decided to either talk to Jake or Brown about it next. However, before I could decide which one to talk to, Brown pinged everyone in an announcement he made in his server. And the announcement was a link to a community post he made where he tries to debunk the Luigi Girl and Jawbone allegations. At this point, I just thought that Brown didn't know what was going on with Luigi, but it turns out he did, and he was actively defending her at that point. When I called him out on this, he banned me from his server, proving himself to be a complete lost cause. Brown kicking me from his server was the final straw, and the moment I decided to go public with the allegations against SFD. Because at that point, I could not have cared less about destroying his relationship with his pedophile and pedophile-supporting friends, nor could I have cared less about destroying his reputation in the Angry Birds community. Because at that point, it was pretty damn obvious that he knew what he was doing. So later that day, I took whatever clips I had in my critique video about SFD being a pedophile and pedophile supporter, stitched them together with some extra commentary, and released it all as its own video the next day. I say the next day because I got cold feet after finishing it. So on January 31st, the end of January, I released the video. And I know this might sound strange, but I genuinely thought that my video would go under the radar, SFD would call it fake, I would get cancelled, and everyone would move on. However, as we all know now, that is not at all what happened. I was absolutely shocked by the amount of attention that the video got in such little time. And I thank you all for watching my video, making your own videos on the subject, and helping me bring SFD and his friends to justice. However, it's important to note that that video didn't treat the situation seriously enough, having way too many unfunny jokes and just being immature as hell in general. One person even compared my video to I Love Kim Possible a Lot's video on Saberspark and DA Games. And while I do have to agree that my video was pretty bad, I feel like it has some things that make it better than Kim Possible's video. Because 1, the allegations were actually true, and 2, I didn't put a whole ass Seinfeld skit in my video. But now I want to talk about why my video was so bad to begin with, starting with the thumbnail. At the time, I thought the worse than Diddy in the big red text would be a necessary attention grabber. This was also the case with some of the jokes I made, especially that, in hindsight, stupid Homer meme at the end. I made these jokes to further exemplify how SFD is a pedo. Looking back at it now, I agree that they were very unnecessary, and I really went about getting the point across the wrong way. Some of the other memes I used were meant more as my reactions to some of the stuff I was discussing in my video, such as the FNAF meme I used when questioning how you would accidentally groom a minor, as well as the gif of Homer I used when talking about how there's no way Jawbone has a black brother. Now that I have reaction images based off my own character, I won't use memes as reaction images ever again. However, some of the other memes I used were just to make fun of SFD and his friends. While they are a bunch of sick freaks and do deserve it, I can agree that my video really wasn't the time and place for it. Okay, so now I want to talk about the tone. The reason why the tone was the way it was is because the clips I used come from my critique video. As I've mentioned before, the critique video has a far less serious tone, and I wanted to keep that video tonally consistent throughout. Which is why there were so many jokes in those clips despite me talking about such serious topics. Honestly, I shouldn't have even used those clips to begin with. The video should have just been the 2-minute long intro that was just text and screenshots. Looking back, that part got the point across perfectly. Some of the jokes I made were just straight up trash. Such as that shitty ass Joker impression I did while I was reading the bio of that Frankster guy. And don't even get me started on and his Angry Birds plush videos don't take place on Piggy Island, they take place on Epstein Island. That shit was just pure cringe. And I now see why everybody hated the video as much as they did. Listen guys, I never meant to make light of such a serious situation, and I was only ever trying to make fun of SFD and his friends. And while what I did was very immature, I hope that with me owning up to it, I hope that you guys can at least understand where I was coming from. I don't expect you guys to forgive me, but I hope my apology and this entire video put me in a better light in your eyes than my previous video did. Anyways, the day I posted my video, I tried posting it in different Discord servers to try to get attention to it. But when I posted it in Jake Miller's server, I ended up getting banned over it. SFD actually ended up seeing my post, and in response he said, "It should be somewhere chill, not a place where we post about drama." And the fact he was saying this about the video that ended up getting him cancelled is very funny to me. But anyways, he ended up getting banned from the server a couple hours later, and a couple of days later some people started making fun of him. And oh yeah, Jake Miller, if you're watching this, please unban me from your Discord server. I didn't do anything wrong. I exposed a pedo and I don't deserve to be banned for that. Anyways, ever since Brown's last video, the situation has been stagnant and everyone in the Angry Birds fandom has moved on from it. All of his friends who aren't pedos or pedo supporters have cut him out of their lives, and Tiffany is no longer collaborating with him. Oh yeah, and Tiffany, if you're watching by any chance, do us all a favor and burn those SFD and Brown plushies you made, and also record yourself doing it so we can all watch. Trust me, those plushies are probably cursed now. Now that this video is out there, and until something else happens, I'll be moving on from the situation, just like everyone else did. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do after this. I mean, I have some Angry Birds videos in the works, but I'm not sure if those will ever release. I used to make Friday Night Funkin' videos, and I'm planning to go back to that, but after that, I'm really not sure what else I'm gonna do. I have some other commentary videos planned, but I'm really not sure if any of those will ever see the light of day. I mean, I started on one video about some crazy Loud House fan, but that video really isn't a priority for me right now. But no matter what I plan to do, I'm just glad that we finally got some closure on all of this. Me for finally finishing this video, and you guys for finally getting a comprehensive video on this whole situation. For now, you guys can finally get some peace, and for now, I can finally move on with my life. Thank you all for watching this video. And until I upload again, which knowing me is probably going to be almost an entire year from now, I'll see you there.